What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, I need you guys to see something because I do believe this could have a major impact on the market, especially if you are an altcoin investor. I do believe this is something you need to pay close attention to. So over the last few days, I've just been studying Bitcoin and just watching the fact that it's not really doing much. Now, many of us know that when Bitcoin starts to go sideways and it starts to consolidate, that typically speaking, this is going to lead to some type of rather strong move. Of course, volatility will pick up, and that does usually lead, of course, to, like I said, a breakout in either direction. And what happens is that there are certain things that we can look at that give us signs and implications of what that move could be. So what I've been paying the most amount of attention to try to figure out what this move is going to look like has been Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance has finally started to see a move back in the direction of the top side of this channel. Now, if you're unsure what Bitcoin dominance is, to make it simple, it is the percentage of market share that Bitcoin itself has. So for example, if the total market cap of crypto is $10 and Bitcoin's market cap is $5, well, that means that it has 50% market share and Bitcoin dominance would be 50%. So what we can see is that since 2021, Bitcoin dominance has just gone sideways and it's only revisited the top of this channel 2 times. And so of course it starts to kind of hint to me, well, we've only been to the top of this channel 2 times. So what has happened the 2 times that we got to the top of this channel? And so that inspired my train of thought to start to pay attention to what this could possibly look like going forward. So as you can see here, the first time that Bitcoin dominance touched the top side of that channel was right here. This represents the moment in time in which we were finally able to break this resistance that we had seen that had been holding the price down throughout that entire summer lull of 2021. When Bitcoin dominance hit the top side of that channel and bounced down, that was the moment when Bitcoin was really breaking out and we were really starting to see a lot of crypto take back off to then set a new all-time high, of course, before entering into the 2022 bear market. Now, what we can see is that there's a second time that we hit the top side of that channel and it was back here. And what you can see here is that this is the moment that we lost $30,000, which was a pretty historical moment for Bitcoin. Everyone was saying we're not going under 30K. We're going to put in some type of double bottom. This is just a run flat in which we were going to do this and we were going to bounce and we were going to continue. And this was the moment where everyone realized, oh shit, we're in a bear market. This was the collapse of Luna. This was around the collapse of UST. This was around the collapse of Celsius and Voyager and all of those companies. And this kind of started to imply, hey, this is going to be ugly for a while. And so this massive macro breakout happened the moment that Bitcoin dominance came back up to touch the top side of this channel. And so what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that the 2 times that we've touched the top side of this channel was first the moment we went in to rally to a new bull market to hit an all-time high. And this was the confirmation that the bear market was here. And so obviously massive macro moves happen whenever we touch the top side of this channel. So whenever I think about it now, it kind of starts to tell me, okay, well, we're in a situation where everyone is curious. Are we going into a bull market? Is this the beginning of the bull market at least? And if history is going to repeat itself rather similarly and Bitcoin dominance does continue to the top side of the channel, is this going to be the moment where we finally break this massive resistance and consolidation that we've been in and start to look for some type of possible continuation over the long term, which is going to kind of say that, hey, the bull market has started and we are finally capable of really seeing green maybe over the next 24 months. Is this the moment that we are going to see another massive macro breakout to the upside and, for continuation? Now, obviously, it could be the opposite and we could really capitulate out of nowhere and we really go into another full-flown wave to the downside. But I just don't think that is as likely as us breaking to the upside, especially with all of the narratives that are playing out right now. Now, some of these narratives, for example, include the banking collapse, in which people don't feel like their money may be as safe in a bank, and so they want to move it to something that's not centralized that can be manipulated and taken advantage of, like a bank. Now, of course, because of that, we did see USDC depeg at one point. It has repegged quite well at this point, but it did depeg and it made a lot of people nervous because of their connections with the banking system. And so USDC and many of these other stable coins have also lost a lot of trust. Now, we also have to remember that there's things called Ordinals going around right now, which is a way in which people are bringing on meme coins onto Bitcoin as a whole. Now, I don't think this is necessarily going to bring the most volume, but it is just another narrative that will provide a lot of excitement to Bitcoin. And so what they are is they're a company that were actually capable of bringing Doge onto Bitcoin as an ordinal. So the process for them looked like they created an ordinal on Bitcoin. They then added their created ordinal to an emblem vault on the Ethereum blockchain. They then went on to fractionalize the emblem vault so that all of the ordinals inside are represented in an ERC token, which was ODoge. And then recently they have added the first ever Doge logo ordinal to our vault, further adding cultural value to the ODoge token. And so by doing this, they are basically able to create a meme coin on Bitcoin using an ERC token itself. Now, these things act just like meme coins. I mean, they act just like a normal token would, right? Of course, they have a total supply. They can burn some of that supply, which allows them to be deflationary. They can enable transaction taxes. ODoge, for example, has a 0% tax for buys and sells. They have liquidity. So there was a 4 ETH liquidity, which was burned forever, which obviously isn't the most, but it is going to get bigger. And if you just look, for example, at their 1 week update, this is something that's gaining a lot of attraction and hype right now, right? Over 1,500 members in Telegram, over $3 million plus a day in volume, over 1,000 holders as they are continuing to burn the supply, and they've already gotten up to 145 ETH in burned LP. Now, as they did do this, in order to do this, of course, they had to acquire this for 10 Bitcoin, and so as you can see, the implementation, the usage of Bitcoin, and the bringing of volume towards the side of Bitcoin during a time where all of these narratives are playing out in Bitcoin's favor is a key formula for this to truly be able to be the first, the start of the first wave for Bitcoin to lead us into another run. Now that leads me to the next point, which is, well, what if this is just a breakout actually? What if we don't get a rejection here, but we actually break out and look for continuation? Well, that tells me we very well could be entering into a bull market in which Bitcoin does usually lead the bull market in the beginning, right? You look back at 2018, what happened back here? Of course, we did see the breakout and the back test and a little bit of sideways movement before Bitcoin did really start to catch some momentum and push back up to 74%. Well, if you look what happened in Q3 of 2018, we can go back here, and as you can see, in Q3 of 2018, this is whenever we saw this final consolidation, one more capitulation before the rest of the bull market did start. This kind of signaled, this little point in time right here signaled the end of the bear market and the beginning of the bull market. And considering where we are right now, who's to say that this doesn't, kind of represent the same thing, in which we, even if we do see a consolidation, right, or some type of capitulation, that this isn't signaling the end of the bear market and the beginning of the bull market, as Bitcoin dominance does come back out to retest and finally break out of the channel it's been in. I believe one way or another, we are about to see a massive move for Bitcoin itself, and that could start to imply to some altcoin holders, maybe it's not a terrible idea to funnel some money from your altcoins, from your Ethereum, Solana, ADA, etc., into Bitcoin, if it very well likely is going to lead the rally or hold up best if we do start to capitulate. I think that Bitcoin is in a position where it likely will continue this move, and so it seems as if it's going to outperform the rest of the market, and so because of that, I have moved some small pieces, 5 to 10% of each one of my altcoin holdings into Bitcoin to build that holding up a little bit. So definitely let me know what you think about this. I think my logic makes a good bit of sense, but I would love your opinion down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and of course I will continue to update you as this all does play out. You guys stay safe this weekend, and I will see you all next time. Peace.